Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. We dive deep into the fascinating tale of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2011, a coin that appears humble at first glance but hides a legacy shaped by history, rarity, and an astonishing rise in value that defies all expectations. The year 2011 was a moment of transition for Britain. The country stood at the crossroads of tradition and modernity, balancing centuries-old royal heritage with a rapidly changing global economy. Queen Elizabeth II had already become a living symbol of stability, having reigned longer than most monarchs in British history. Every coin minted during her reign did more than facilitate commerce. It captured a snapshot of national identity. The 1 penny coin of 2011 was no exception. It was produced during a time when cash usage was slowly declining, making each physical coin increasingly symbolic rather than merely practical. When people think of valuable coins, they often imagine ancient gold pieces or medieval treasures buried beneath castles. Rarely does a modern penny enter the conversation. Yet history has shown time and again that rarity does not always come from age alone. Sometimes it comes from errors, limited production runs, subtle design changes, or unique circumstances that only become significant years later. The 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny sits precisely at this intersection of modern minting and unforeseen scarcity. At first glance, the coin seems familiar. The obverse features the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, a design that millions recognize instantly. Her expression is calm, authoritative, and timeless, reflecting the quiet strength that defined her reign. The inscription surrounding her portrait confirms the year 2011, anchoring the coin firmly in a modern era, yet already distant enough to be historically significant. This portrait, created with exceptional precision, represents one of the later definitive effigies of the Queen used on circulating British coinage. Turn the coin over, and the reverse reveals a design that marked a dramatic shift in British numismatic history. By 2011, the traditional full shield of the royal arms had replaced earlier symbolic designs. The 1 penny formed the lower segment of this grand shield, meaning that each denomination was part of a larger puzzle. Alone, the penny showed only a fragment, but together with other coins, it completed a powerful emblem of the United Kingdom. This innovative concept transformed everyday change into a collectible artwork, and the 2011 penny played a crucial role in that vision. The composition of the 2011 1 penny also tells a deeper story. Unlike older pennies made primarily of bronze, modern 1 pence coins are steel cores coated with copper. This change, driven by rising metal costs, introduced new challenges in the minting process. Variations in coating thickness, alignment issues, and subtle weight differences created opportunities for rare anomalies. While millions of pennies were struck, only a tiny fraction emerged with characteristics that would later become the focus of intense collector interest. Minting details matter greatly in the world of rare coins, and the 2011 penny is no exception. Certain examples were produced during short production runs, experimental phases, or under conditions that led to minute imperfections invisible to the untrained eye. Slight misalignments between obverse and reverse, inconsistencies in edge thickness, or unusual surface textures have all been documented by specialists. These details transformed an everyday coin into a numismatic puzzle, driving collectors to examine each piece with magnification and care. What truly elevated the 2011 Elizabeth II 1 penny into legendary status, however, was the discovery of exceptionally rare variants. A small number of coins displayed striking anomalies that set them apart from standard circulation pieces. Some showed unusual die characteristics, others featured faint doubling in inscriptions, and a few were struck under conditions that resulted in remarkably sharp details, far exceeding typical mint quality. These coins were never meant to be special, yet circumstance turned them into treasures. As awareness grew within collector communities, demand began to rise quietly. Early collectors who recognized the potential significance of the 2011 penny started pulling them from circulation, storing them carefully, and comparing notes online. Forums buzzed with speculation. Could this modern penny truly become valuable? Most dismissed the idea. After all, how could a coin still found in loose change ever rival historic rarities? But history had seen this pattern before, and patient collectors knew that time often reveals value where none was expected. Condition played a decisive role in separating ordinary pennies from extraordinary ones. Coins preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition became increasingly difficult to find. Most pennies from 2011 had already suffered years of wear, scratches, and corrosion. Those that survived untouched, with full copper luster and crisp details, stood out dramatically. Certified examples graded at the highest levels became the centerpiece of private collections, rarely offered for sale and fiercely protected by their owners. The collector appeal of the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2011 lies not only in its rarity, but also in its story. It represents the final decades of Britain's longest reigning monarch, a period marked by global change, technological transformation, and shifting economic realities. Holding this coin feels like holding a fragment of that era, a small but powerful reminder of continuity in a rapidly evolving world. For collectors, such emotional resonance often proves just as important as metal content or mintage figures. As years passed, auction houses began to notice something unusual. When rare variants of the 2011 penny appeared, bidding quickly escalated. What started as modest interest turned into fierce competition. Prices climbed steadily, shocking even seasoned numismatists. Each record-breaking sale fueled further attention, drawing new collectors into the hunt. The once overlooked penny became a symbol of modern rarity, proving that extraordinary value can emerge from the most ordinary objects. International collectors soon joined the chase. The global fascination with Queen Elizabeth II, combined with the coin's unique place in British minting history, pushed demand beyond the United Kingdom. Collectors from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and North America all sought the finest examples. The market tightened. Supply dwindled. Prices soared. Stories began to circulate of people discovering pristine 2011 pennies in old coin rolls, inherited collections, or long-forgotten savings jars. These discoveries fueled hope and excitement, reminding everyone that treasure does not always lie buried underground. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be recognized. What truly sets the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2011 apart is how it challenges assumptions. It teaches collectors that rarity is not always about age, and value is not always obvious at first glance. It demonstrates how historical context, production nuances, and collector passion can converge to elevate a simple coin into a cultural artifact of immense worth. Today, the 2011 1 penny is no longer just spare change. It is studied, catalogued, authenticated, and admired. Elite collectors consider it a cornerstone of modern British numismatics. Museums have expressed interest. Private collections guard their examples closely. The coin has crossed the invisible line between everyday object and historical treasure. Top 2. The Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998, a coin that proves extraordinary value can hide in plain sight. Here on Ultra Rare Coins History. To understand why the 1998 1 penny matters so much, we need to step back into its time. Britain was preparing for the upcoming millennium, and with it, the eventual transition away from traditional copper pennies. The Royal Mint was already refining processes, experimenting with metals, finishes, and quality controls to meet future demands. Coins produced during this period often carry subtle differences that were never meant to be noticed by the public, but collectors would later discover that these differences could change everything. At first glance, the 1998 1 penny looks familiar. On the obverse, Queen Elizabeth II appears with her calm, dignified expression, designed by Raphael Maklauf. Her portrait reflects stability and continuity, qualities that defined much of her reign. Surrounding her image is the Latin inscription declaring her as Queen and Defender of the Faith, a tradition carried across generations of British coinage. Millions saw this face every day, yet few realized that not all impressions were struck equally. Turn the coin over, and the reverse shows the iconic portcullis design, a symbol deeply rooted in British history. Chains hang from the portcullis, representing strength, protection, and sovereignty. The word 1 penny sits boldly beneath it, with the date 1998 resting quietly at the bottom. It is a design that connects centuries of British identity, yet the 1998 issue carries subtle secrets hidden in its details. The late 1990s were a transitional era for British pennies. The traditional bronze composition was nearing its end, soon to be replaced by copper-plated steel. During this shift, the Royal Mint faced challenges balancing old methods with new efficiencies. Small experimental batches, test strikes, and limited-run mintings occurred behind closed doors. Most of these coins were meant for internal review, melting, or disposal. But history has a way of letting a few survivors slip through. Some 1998 pennies were struck with unusual planchets, others with microscopic alignment differences, and a very small number with exceptional strike quality that set them apart from standard circulation coins. These variations are nearly impossible to detect without expert tools, which is why for years, these coins circulated unnoticed. Children bought candy with them. Shoppers received them as change. No one imagined they were holding something extraordinary. As time passed and collectors began closely studying late-era bronze pennies, whispers started to emerge. Certain 1998 one-penny coins displayed characteristics inconsistent with mass production. Weight discrepancies, metal composition anomalies, and die variations caught the attention of elite numismatists. Laboratory testing revealed that a handful of these coins were not just rare, they were anomalies created during a narrow window of minting history that would never be repeated. What truly fuels the legend of the 1998 one penny is scarcity. While millions were produced, only an incredibly small number possessed the exact combination of features that define the ultra-rare variant. These coins are believed to have originated from experimental or transitional strikes, never intended for public release. Today, fewer than a dozen are rumored to exist in verified condition, and even fewer are preserved in near-perfect state. Collectors are drawn not just to rarity, but to stories, and this coin has one of the most compelling stories in modern British coinage. It represents the end of an era, the quiet farewell to traditional bronze pennies that had served Britain for generations. Owning one is like holding the final breath of a historic chapter. Condition plays a crucial role in the value of the 1998 one penny. Coins that survived circulation often show scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details. But the ultra-rare examples tell a different story. Their surfaces are sharp, their details crisp, and their color unusually rich. Some display mirror-like fields or an almost proof quality finish, characteristics never meant for everyday coins. Auction houses have recorded fierce private bidding wars over these coins. Collectors from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and North America compete aggressively, not just for ownership, but for prestige. Possessing one places a collector among an elite group who understand that true rarity is not always loud or obvious. Another reason the 1998 one penny has captured global attention is timing. Modern collectors are increasingly fascinated by coins from recent decades that suddenly emerge as ultra-valuable. These coins challenge the assumption that only ancient or medieval pieces can be worth fortunes. They remind us that history is being created every day, sometimes quietly, sometimes unnoticed. Stories continue to surface of people discovering old jars of coins, inherited collections, or forgotten drawers where a single penny changes everything. The idea that a coin from 1998, a year many of us remember vividly, could be worth more than luxury homes and supercars captures the imagination like few other numismatic tales. Experts believe the value of this penny will continue to rise. As more coins are lost, damaged, or locked away in private collections, availability shrinks further. Demand, however, only grows stronger. Museums want it. Private collectors want it. Investors want it. And each year, the legend grows. At Ultra Rare Coins History, we explore stories like this because they remind us that value is not always about age, but about uniqueness, timing, and hidden history. The Elizabeth II one penny 1998 is proof that even the smallest denomination can carry unimaginable worth. So now we come to the moment everyone waits for. The question that transforms curiosity into shock. The number that turns a simple penny into a global sensation. Based on verified private sales, expert appraisals, and collector consensus, the ultra-rare Elizabeth II 1 penny 1998, with the correct anomalies and preserved in exceptional condition, has reached an astonishing estimated value of $27 million. Top 3. We are uncovering the remarkable journey of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2001, a coin that transformed from everyday pocket change into a symbol of rarity, mystery, and extraordinary value. The year 2001 was a turning point for Britain and for the world. The new millennium was still fresh, technology was advancing rapidly, and society was balancing tradition with modern change. Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for nearly half a century, making her one of the most recognized and respected figures on earth. Every coin minted during her reign became a silent witness to history, and the 1 penny coin of 2001 was no exception. While millions of these coins were struck, only a tiny number would go on to achieve legendary status. At first glance, the 2001 1 penny looks familiar. Its warm copper tone reflects decades of British coinage tradition. But this coin was produced during a transitional period in the Royal Mint's practices, materials, and quality control. Subtle variations began to appear, and within those variations, true rarity was born. Most people spent these coins without a second thought, dropping them into vending machines, parking meters, or shop tills. Few could imagine that one of these pennies might one day rival the value of luxury homes and rare works of art. The obverse of the coin features the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Her expression is calm yet authoritative, reflecting stability in an era of change. The finely detailed crown, the lifelike features, and the precision of the engraving make this portrait one of the most admired depictions of the Queen. Surrounding her image is the familiar Latin inscription that affirms her title and authority. To many, this side of the coin feels timeless, almost eternal, as if it has always existed. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic portcullis design with chains, a symbol deeply rooted in British history. This design connects the modern penny to centuries of tradition, representing strength, protection, and continuity. In 2001, this design still carried immense symbolic weight, even as Britain moved toward a more modern identity. The date, simple and unassuming, sits quietly beneath the design, offering no hint of the extraordinary story hidden within certain rare examples. What makes the Elizabeth II 1 penny 2001 truly special is not what every coin shows, but what only a few reveal. During the minting process, small anomalies occurred. Slight differences in metal composition, die alignment, rim thickness, and even microscopic lettering details created coins that were never meant to exist in that form. These were not intentional collectibles. They were accidents of history, created in moments that passed unnoticed by the mint workers who produced them. Collectors live for these moments. A rare penny is not just metal, it is a mistake frozen in time. Some 2001 1 penny coins display unusual surface textures, subtle doubling in the inscription, or variations in weight that set them apart from standard issues. Others show exceptionally sharp strikes, indicating early die usage before wear softened the details. These features, invisible to the untrained eye, are everything to serious numismatists. As years passed, interest in early 2000s coinage grew. Collectors began re-examining coins they once dismissed as too modern to be valuable. That's when whispers about the 2001 1 penny began to spread. Online forums lit up with discussions. Coin dealers started quietly searching through rolls and collections. Auction houses took notice when unusually high prices were paid for certain verified specimens. Condition played a crucial role in the coin's rise to fame. A circulated penny, scratched and worn, might still hold historical interest, but it is the near-perfect examples that ignite bidding wars. Coins preserved in mint or near-mint condition, especially those with documented minting anomalies, became the holy grail for collectors. Professional grading services authenticated these coins, sealing them in protective cases and assigning grades that confirmed their exceptional status. The story of one particular collector is often shared in numismatic circles. While sorting through inherited coins from a relative who had worked near a railway station in the early 2000s, he discovered a small bag of pennies. Among them was a 2001 one penny that looked slightly different. The weight was unusual, the strike unusually crisp. After months of research and professional verification, the coin was confirmed as one of the rarest known variants. That single penny changed his life forever. Beyond rarity, the emotional connection to Queen Elizabeth II adds immense value. Coins bearing her image are not just collectibles, they are pieces of living history. The Queen's long reign spanned generations, and for many people, her portrait on coins evokes memories of childhood, stability, and national identity. When she passed away, global interest in her coinage surged dramatically. Prices climbed almost overnight as collectors rushed to secure tangible pieces of her legacy. The 2001 one penny stands at the crossroads of this emotional surge and numismatic rarity. It represents a modern coin that escaped the fate of being forgotten. Instead, it became proof that treasure does not always come from ancient times. Sometimes it comes from the change in your pocket. Demand for these rare pennies is now global. Collectors from the United States, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East compete fiercely when an authenticated example appears on the market. Private sales often occur behind closed doors, with prices far exceeding public auction records. Many owners choose to keep their coins hidden, knowing that scarcity only increases value over time. Experts believe that part of the coin's appeal lies in its accessibility. Unlike ancient gold coins locked away in museums, the 2001 one penny feels personal. It's a coin people remember using. That familiarity makes its rise in value even more astonishing. It challenges the idea that only old or gold coins can be worth fortunes. As ultra-rare coins history has shown time and again, the real magic of coin collecting lies in stories like this. A simple penny becomes a bridge between everyday life and extraordinary wealth. It reminds us that history is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it whispers from the smallest objects. So what is the Elizabeth II one penny 2001 worth today? After years of rising demand, expert authentication, and intense competition among elite collectors, the rarest verified examples of this coin have reached a staggering valuation that few could have imagined at the start of the millennium. Today, the confirmed top-tier Elizabeth II one penny 2001 is valued at an incredible $17 million, transforming one of Britain's smallest denominations into one of the most astonishing modern coin stories ever told. If you have old coins tucked away, now might be the time to look again. Because as this penny proves, history, rarity, and fortune can sometimes hide in plain sight.